Hey everyone, this is Nick from Mecca Warehouse, and today we're back with weekly update number 124. Let's just kick things right off with a week in review. So we talk about what's been going on in the warehouse, things that are coming up, stuff like that. And I think the best place to start is that for the first time in I don't know how long, probably 2 or more years at this point, we did a restock that wasn't on Friday. And this very well might be the pattern going forward. We're going to start doing restocks potentially twice a week, potentially more, whenever it makes sense based on what shipments come in. It's becoming apparent from a business perspective as we're receiving more shipments more frequently, and we're trying to optimize to get the next restock in faster, that having something like the restock we posted up Wednesday, to have all that stuff arrive on a Tuesday, have it all checked in and just sitting there all week, it just doesn't make sense right now with the way things are going. It's going to help us kind of even out the load for amount of workload for the team. We won't have a single peaky day during the week. Things will kind of spread out a little bit more. At least that's what I expect will happen. It should level out Patrick's workload a little bit with responding to ding and dent requests and customer service requests, because the orders will be a little bit more even. And I think that's going to be good for us in the long term and the short term. It's helping us move stuff over faster, get the next restock in faster, because we can start moving stuff out, etc. And it seems to be a good move overall. I'm excited about it. So we posted our first restock on Wednesday, which is yesterday from when I'm filming this, 2 days ago from when you're probably seeing this if you're watching this on Friday. It's a solid restock, and we're going to have another solid restock tomorrow or today when you're seeing this on Friday, or at least we should. We're expecting a shipment later today. We'll plan on getting it checked in and up, and so that's going to be good. So if you follow us and you want to know when our restocks are and what's restocking when, the recommendation as always is to follow on the Discord. We've got an incoming channel there where we post things basically as soon as we know that they're coming. Once a shipment is shipped to us, we'll post it up there, and that allows us to kind of share what's coming in, and you can plan ahead for those restocks. I have a feeling we'll probably end up kind of consolidating on maybe twice a week, something like that, like a Tuesday or Wednesday and then Friday. But we'll have to see what ends up making the most sense going forward, because whatever works out the best is what we'll end up kind of converging on. So that's all exciting. It's resulting in more stuff faster, hopefully, not having to wait. And where some of our restocks are smaller, it means you can jump on them ASAP instead of trying to wait around for our restock and then miss out on an opportunity somewhere else if there's something that you really, really need to have. So hopefully it's helpful for everybody. So with that in mind, when we get to what would normally be the restock section of the video, we're probably not going to do restocks. We're going to fit in a new segment there. So keep an eye out for that. Other news, we got the MGEXs to cover all of our pre-orders in on Tuesday. I believe all of them except for 3 have shipped. There's 3 attached to pre-orders that are held up by, I think, Kotobukiya items actually. So those will go out when those items come in, but we were able to fulfill all those MGEX pre-orders, which is really exciting. I'm stoked that we've been able to do that, and as quickly as we were able to from when we got the news. With that in mind, our total number of outstanding pre-orders for Bandai products has decreased tremendously. I think the 2 biggest lots are the high-grade Ferract and high-grade Garibaldi, and we have both supposedly confirmed on order, and that means we'll probably receive them before the end of the month. And after that, then it will be just smaller quantities of a few things here and there that we're trying to get. So really excited about that. I feel like really good news, and it means that we're hopefully moving forward into the next phase of what this whole separating from BNTCA thing kind of means. We're also almost completely caught up on reaching out to everybody who had an affected pre-order. I think as of yesterday, Patrick said there were like 10 or 20 people he hadn't reached out to yet. Anybody that we know we have stuff for, we haven't reached out to if we know it's coming, just to save time and energy. But if you have an affected order by the end of Friday, everybody should at least have received an email. So if at the end of the day, Friday, say like 5 p.m. Eastern, you haven't received an email yet and you think you have an affected order, feel free to reach out, and we'd be more than happy to check into that for you. So that's it for week in review this week. Let's move on to pre-orders, except we didn't have any new pre-orders this week. So we're going to move on to this new segment, which we'll figure out what we're going to call it, but for lack of a better term, we'll call it team picks. We're going to have some of the members of the warehouse, some of the team here, kind of highlight a kit that they've maybe built recently or that they enjoyed that we have in stock, and help show people some other items that maybe you didn't know existed. So I'll just kind of hand it off to them.
I picked the Mega Man kit because I really like Mega Man Battle Network, and new game comes out, so new kit seemed really fun. My favorite part about the kit is that it has all the runners have undergates, so there's very minimal sanding you have to do.
Leo Prime, huge Beast Wars fan. That's what started this whole robot thing for me, was Transformers. Just really like the styling and how they're bringing Beast Wars 2 model kits finally, so kind of was a must pick up for me.
All right, so I brought in the Zaku 2. Really liked this kit. It was the first one that I built off camera, and I had a good time filming it. And it was also pretty fun to paint. It's got some cool like rubber parts in it, like the skirt. There's a rubber and a plastic option, so that's really cool. A little factoid about that kit.
All right, so I brought in the MS General 05 Ma Chow? I don't know. I have no idea how to say that. I got it because I really like the way the bike looks, and you've probably noticed I build a lot of the gunpla as well. MS General seems to be a really good price per plastic value for the non-Bandai kits, and when you look at the solidness of the bike, it's hefty. The wheels are actually independent rubber rings that slip over it, so they all spin independently if you want to. Yeah.
All right, and that was the team pick section. So let me know whether or not you enjoyed that, whether that is something that you got value from. And I guess also let me know if you think we should still do a restock section or not. I've been wondering about how much value we actually add, just me standing there holding up a pile of kits. And so maybe this will be a better use of our time and energy. That done though, let's move on to Q&A. So this is the part where I answer questions from you, the viewer. If you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer it next time. Okay, first up, Thydakar Prime, Electric Callboy is great. What do you think of their music videos? I think they're interesting. They're definitely, I mean, they're like music videos. Like how many bands have music videos that are super serious? I guess some do. They're silly, they're kind of fun. And they kind of fit the tone of a lot of their music, at least their more recent music videos, I guess, and more recent music. Anyway, next up, Dolfo, how many kits are you completing a year? So this is a hard question. I probably snap build something like 12 kits a year on stream, but of course, a lot of those kits I plan on painting eventually, so I don't know if I'd really consider them complete at that point. So it makes it kind of a difficult question to answer, but hopefully that kind of answers the question. Okay, next up, Pony Lucifel asks, any chance you guys getting MGSD Strike Freedom? If so, would you have it as a pre-order? And so yes, we will definitely be getting them. In fact, we have some that should be arriving sometime today, Thursday, when I'm shooting this. Should be on the Friday restock. I suspect if you're seeing this now, though, you probably missed it because we're not getting that many because we're grabbing what we can from different distributors, and this particular lot was relatively small. We won't be offering any sort of Bandai pre-orders for a while until we get into a cadence with any of these distributors that gives us the confidence that we're going to get what we expect in a reasonable time frame. So I'd expect we will at some point get back into Bandai pre-orders, but it might not be until next year or at the very earliest, probably late 2023. Great question though. Next one, Gunpla 819. Sorry if I missed this. Any news on MGEX Freedom? See the earlier part of the video. They have all shipped all of our pre-orders. Hopefully we'll get more more kits that aren't locked up by pre-orders in the future. Just can't guarantee when, but I suspect we'll be able to find more somewhere. All right, next up, last set for the day, Plastic Germs. Question, when building a Gunpla Playmo kit, do you follow the instructions in order, or do you divert legs first, second, arms and torso, and so on? So this is a good question. I know a lot of people do this differently. Some people build from the bottom up, for example. I tend to follow the instructions for the most part, with the exception being that if I have a chance to assemble, like sub-assemblies, put the arms on the torso, for example, I will skip to that step whenever it makes sense, because I like seeing the pieces come together, and it feels less disorganized and less chaotic than having, you know, an arm here and a leg there and whatever. The more of it that I can have together in one piece, the more secure I feel like everything is. That's predominantly what I'll do in terms of doing things in different order, unless maybe I'm going back to a kit I've built before for a kit bash or doing something different. And then fun question, what is one horror movie that scared you as a child? That's a good question. I don't know if I can really answer it because I don't really remember watching any horror movies as a child in general. Horror is not really a genre I'm into. I don't tend to look to get scared or whatever. I feel like so many horror movies are kind of cheesy anyway, and it's just not something I've ever been really into. So I don't really remember being scared watching a horror movie as a child. Probably because I didn't watch many. And yeah, that's it. So I think that's it for questions this week. If you have a question you want answered, post it down in the comments below. I'll do my best to answer it next week. Thank you for watching. See you next time.